Wet weather.
1998 was the wettest year for 30 years. Add a record-breaking January and farmers have problems, not just with flooding but also with waterlogged fields. Bill Meadows runs a mixed farm near Stratford. He showed me the River Stour as it broke its banks onto his land.
The main problem has been caused by the real wet weather that we've had all winter long, really, following a fairly wet summer. The ground's become waterlogged, the sheep make a mess on the fields. Ideally we'd like to have them all inside, and hopefully another week or so we shall do, but in the meantime the ones that are outside are making a mess of the field. They're chewing the grass up where they're walking on it and making it a little bit like a paddy field, which will affect next year's grazing.
What about other crops here on the farm?
We've got leeks at the moment which we sell to the packers on the field, and they have been lifting them through the winter, and the fields are just like a paddy field. It really is a mess. It's causing them problems with the amount of mud on the leeks to skin the leeks and get them clean, ready for packing for the supermarkets, and it's making deep ruts across the field.
And all farmers are in the same boat, even if they don't live near a river.
It was wet in April, which meant that the planting was delayed for about a month, so the whole crop was behind. During the summer it was also wet, which caused significant blight increase. And then during harvest it started raining about the beginning of October and really hasn't stopped since. We have lifted the majority of them. We have about 18% of the crop in the ground, which is about 9 acres. The reason they're still in the ground is because it has been too wet.
What's all this meant for the price of potatoes?
Well, obviously the price of potatoes has risen significantly because there's been a shortage due to the poor harvesting conditions. It's good for us in a way, but if you can't get the potatoes out, then it makes no difference.
Farmers say it's too early to tell if other vegetables will follow potatoes and become more expensive. In a triumph of hope over experience, what they really want now is some sunshine.
Charlotte Smith reporting, and you can see just what effect all the rain has had on this waterfall in Wales. And let's find out now what the weather's going to be like for the week ahead. Here's the Countryfile forecast.
Thanks very much, John. Well, we're in for a week of unsettled weather. That means more rain on the way, so no doubt the Environment Agency will be keeping a close eye on river levels, and we're going to be keeping a close eye on the skies. In fact, for the next 24 hours, we've got rain moving in, and there's likely to be quite a bit of snow over the hills and mountains of Scotland. Now, it'll arrive later on today, last through tonight and into tomorrow, with the heaviest falls up over the hills and the mountains. That's where the conditions are likely to be hazardous. In fact, you can see the rain gathering down to the southwest, spilling northwards. There's the snow over the hills and mountains of Scotland. It'll be with us overnight, and it'll still be there as we go into tomorrow afternoon, eventually clearing out of the way later in the day. It's all down to this little area of low pressure steaming up from the southwest. So through the afternoon that wet and windy weather will arrive, but at the moment there's a fair amount of bright and dry weather around. Just 1 or 2 showers scattered around the more northwestern parts of the British Isles. So that's where the coldest weather is going to be. Relatively mild across southern parts of the British Isles. That'll be the case overnight tonight, but of course it is going to be quite wet with that rain moving in and that snow developing. Now I think probably over the hills and mountains, the southern half of Scotland, but further north we could see some sleetiness getting down to quite low levels through tonight. So that's where the coldest air is going to be. And as you can see here, still quite mild across southern areas overnight. Into Monday, that low moves away, so eventually that mix of rain, sleet and snow will clear Scotland. The cold front will take the rain away from southeastern parts of England. Then we'll have brighter skies with blustery showers coming in from the west. Burns night, well, it looks as though it's going to be dry but frosty, so watch out for any icy patches on the roads and enjoy your haggis if you can. On Tuesday, we've got some more wet weather spilling in from the west, replaced by showers in northwestern areas. And you can see the reason for that is this area of low pressure and its little cold front. That'll move out of the way, and then we've got another weather system moving in, but bringing very mild air in for the middle part of the week and into Thursday. That weather system on Wednesday bringing more wet weather southwards across England and Wales, perhaps some more snow up over the tops of the mountains in Scotland, but remember it is quite mild air. Into Thursday, things getting drier and brighter across southern parts of the British Isles, but further north, the Northern Ireland and Scotland are likely to see some more rain. So as we go into Friday, that high takes over across England and Wales, but still the chance of some wet stuff in the north. And that's the forecast.
Earlier on Countryfile, we were reporting on red diesel, the cheap fuel that's supposed to be only used for agricultural vehicles. Well, this is the way that many farmers get around their land these days, on a quad bike, an all-terrain vehicle. And now there are much improved diesel versions of them which run on the red stuff. Most of these vehicles are powered by petrol engines, which are perkier because they're intended for the leisure market. But this one, the only quad bike built in Britain, is designed for farmers. It can work for 8 hours a day on £1.50 worth of red diesel. And though diesel versions cost more initially, manufacturers say farmers who use them regularly can soon make up the difference and then make big savings. And they can have a bit of fun as they go about their work. Until the same time next Sunday, goodbye. Next week on Countryfile, a wartime legacy, the hidden dumps of chemical weapons littering the British countryside. And tomorrow on Farming Today on Radio 4, new moves to protect traditional apple orchards.
We all need to eat, but this sandwich could be a killer. 4 years ago, this girl ate one. Now, she's waiting for a transplant.
I'll always wish for a new kidney.
Is there poison on your plate? Panorama, tomorrow at 10 on BBC One.
One programme has led to arrests in all these cases, and many more. It takes just one call to make the difference. A special 150th anniversary edition of Crimewatch, Tuesday, 9:30, BBC One.
Now on BBC One, People in the News, a quiz by John Humphreys, on the record.
Good afternoon. Has the National Lottery lost its way? I'll be asking the Culture Secretary why he's planning to change the way it's run. By the end of the year, the United Kingdom will have changed beyond recognition. I'll be asking the man most likely to be Scotland's first Prime Minister about the dangers that devolution will tear the Union apart. That's after the news, read by Jenny Bond.
Good afternoon. The extent of the corruption within the Olympic movement will be made public later today. An investigation by the International Olympic Committee is expected to lead to radical changes in the way cities can bid for the Games, following claims that officials